evening, hello and welcome. You're watching CNN News 18. This is Nation at 5 with me, Poonam Burde. Let's get you breaking news that's now coming in, and this is from Prayagraj, from the Allahabad High Court, which is hearing the case as far as a survey in the Gyanvapi Mosque complex goes. We're now understanding that the verdict is going to be pronounced on the 3rd of August, which means until then, the Archaeological Survey of India cannot enter the premises and conduct the survey that was granted to them. Remember, on 4th of August is when the next hearing was supposed to take place in the Supreme Court. One day before that is when the Allahabad High Court would be hearing the case again. The verdict will be coming out then. Both sides have made their arguments as to why the survey should go on as far as the petitioner side goes. But remember, it was the Muslim side that had approached the Allahabad High Court to stop this particular survey. For now, the survey has been stopped. There is going to be no survey until the 3rd of August. That's the latest that we are gathering as far as the Gyanvapi Mosque survey goes. Let's listen into some reactions coming in.
Yes. जो मुस्लिम थी उसमें जजमेंट रिजर्व कर लिया है। और आपकी सबसे बड़ी दलील क्या थी विष्णु जी? आज भाई दलील ये थी कि जो
सर कैमरा देख के सर लगाने वाला भी हाँ तो फोन ना कोई बात नहीं
कैमरा पीछे करो नहीं ले पा रहे।
Ananya Bhatnagar, my colleague, joining us, getting us the latest. Ananya, the arguments have concluded as far as both sides are concerned. The verdict, though, has not come out. It is going to be coming out on the 3rd. Before I cut across, let's listen into Vishnu Jain, the petitioner's counsel.
जारी करना चाहिए और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के ऑर्डर में कोई इन्फर्मिटी नहीं, कोई गलती नहीं है। माननीय न्यायालय ने आज दोनों पक्षों को सुनने के बाद इस मामले में अपना फैसला सुरक्षित रखा है और फैसला 3 अगस्त को सुनाया जाएगा। देखिए, ये तो मैं तो सिर्फ देखिए अपनी सबमिशंस रख सकता हूँ कोर्ट में। सहमत थे कि असहमत थे वो तो जब जजमेंट आएगा तब पता चलेगा।
एएसआई का रुख क्या था आज कोर्ट में?
नहीं, एएसआई ने अपना एक डिटेल्ड एफिडेविट फाइल किया है। आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया के एडिशनल डायरेक्टर भी आज कोर्ट में मौजूद थे। उन्होंने भी डिटेल्ड सर्वे एफिडेविट फाइल किया जिसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि बिना स्ट्रक्चर को क्षति पहुंचाए हुए ये पूरी एक्सरसाइज कंडक्ट की जाएगी।
और जो फावड़ी वहां पर दिखाई गई फोटो दिखाई गई जिसमें कि फावड़े थे
जी,
फावड़ी उसका क्या?
नहीं, कोर्ट ने कहा कि इसकी कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, इसकी कोई एविडेंटरी वैल्यू नहीं है। मुस्लिम पक्ष का यही कहना था कि वहां पे कमीशन ना जारी किया जाए और वहां कमीशन जारी किया जाएगा तो स्ट्रक्चर को डैमेज पहुंचेगा। तो वहां पे उस समय एडिशनल डायरेक्टर साहब ने यह भी बताया कि हमारा एफिडेविट बहुत क्लियर है कि बिना स्ट्रक्चर को क्षति पहुंचाए हुए ये सर्वे हम कंडक्ट करेंगे। आज माननीय हाईकोर्ट ने इस मामले में अपना फैसला सुरक्षित रखा है और अब इसकी अगली जो फैसले सुनाने की तारीख है वो 3 अगस्त है।
That was Vishnu Jain. Ananya Bhatnagar, my colleague, continues to be with us now. Ananya, the arguments were made from both sides today. The verdict has been reserved. It's going to come out on the 3rd. But if you could take our viewers through what arguments were made in court from both sides.
Well, definitely the Muslim side was trying to persuade the court that, this whole recognition of, in fact, religious characteristic of a place is barred under Section 3 of the of the Places of Worship Act and should not be carried out. This is an exercise, and there is a excavation that has to take place. There would be digging that would be done, which would damage the particular structure there. But opposing these submissions, the Hindu side and also, of course, the Archaeological Survey of India, who has to actually conduct this survey at the end of the day, is something has stated that no kind of a damage would be done. And in fact, Vishnu Shankar Jain, who was appearing for the Hindu side, clearly argued that there is no bar under Section 3 to rejudge the religious characteristic of a particular place. But he also argued that this is not the stage where the Places of Worship Act should be invoked in. He said that this is just to determine as to what was there. This is just a survey that is being carried out. The suits would stay in its position. The suits would be there. This is just a thing of evidence that is there, just a kind of evidence that would be collected. And in fact, the Varanasi court had dealt with all of these arguments, is what Vishnu Shankar Jain also said, that all of these arguments with regards to the Places of Worship Act, with regards to the excavation taking place, Vishnu said that these orders are, in very, very correct order. In fact, the orders of the Varanasi court carefully and very carefully drafted the directions for, in fact, the survey to be conducted. It was said that no kind of excavation should be carried out. And in fact, the ASI, the Archaeological Survey of India too, has admitted before the court time and again, not only at the Allahabad High Court but also at the Supreme Court, that no excavation would be carried out in this particular case. At the most, what would be done is a little brushing of that particular structure. No kind of a scratching even would be done to this particular structure, as it was pointed out by the ASI expert who was in the court today. And very clearly, the court has now reserved its order. They would be pronounced on the 3rd of August, and the fate of both these sides would be decided on August 3, whether or not the survey would be allowed by the High Court, whether in fact there would be a need to approach the Supreme Court in this particular case. All of this would be answered on August 3. But definitely another important question that emerges out is whether there would be certain breather time that would be granted to either of the sides to actually approach the Supreme Court in this particular regard. Is something that would be granted by the court or not would be answered on August 3 when the court would be pronouncing its order. Remember that the hearing is continued for over a day and a half, and the court has examined each and every aspect to the very little that even the definition of excavation was asked to the Archaeological Survey of India experts as to what would they be conducting. An affidavit was filed by the ASI as to how would they be conducting this particular survey, and definitely now the orders, the fate of this whole Gyanvapi survey would be decided on August 3rd. Poonam.
Yes, Ananya, do stay on with me. Lawyer of the Hindu side, Madan Mohan, now joining us here on this broadcast. Madan Mohan जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए यहाँ CNN News 18 पे। फैसला आया है इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट का। उन्होंने कहा है ASI की सर्वे नहीं होगी 3 अगस्त तक। जो मुस्लिम पक्ष की आर्ग्यूमेंट्स थी, उन्होंने कहा था कि एक्सकवेशन होगी, उससे डैमेज को स्ट्रक्चर को डैमेज हो सकता है, इसीलिए ASI सर्वे नहीं होना चाहिए। क्या आपको लगता है चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट को उन आर्ग्यूमेंट्स पे कोई मेरिट लगा, इसीलिए उन्होंने ASI सर्वे के जो हॉल्ट है वो एक्सटेंड किया गया है?
इसमें ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है, केवल अंतरिम ये फैसला रिजर्व कर लिया गया। और इस बीच में माननीय न्यायालय ने दोनों पक्षों को विधिवत सुना, जिसमें हमारे पक्ष से यानी हिंदू पक्ष से विधिवत आर्गुमेंट दिया गया है, इसलिए चिंता की कोई बात नहीं है। जी।
तो ये आपके लिए सेटबैक नहीं है, आप कह रहे हैं?
जी 3 तारीख को अवश्य फैसला हमारे पक्ष में आएगा, उससे हम आश्वस्त हैं।
जी आर्ग्यूमेंट्स दोनों तरफ के हो चुके हैं मदन मोहन जी। अभी सिर्फ सुनवाई होनी है, सिर्फ वर्डिक्ट आना है 3 तारीख को। उसके बाद अगर आपके पक्ष में फैसला नहीं आता तो क्या आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे उसके बाद?
निसंदेह ये हमारे लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट का रास्ता खुला हुआ है। जी
जी मदन मोहन जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए here on CNN News 18. That was one of the lawyers of the Hindu side expressing confidence that their arguments will find merit in the court of law and that the Allahabad High Court will pronounce the verdict in their favor come the 3rd of August. But all of that remains to be seen. It's in the realm of what the court decides to do. We of course are not preempting which side the verdict will go. Remember, this is on the 3rd of August when the next hearing is going to take place, when the verdict will be pronounced.